like getting out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning for sunrise. Oy. Apologize guys for the audio quality and for the video quality right now. Ordinarily I'd be doing this on my vlogging camera, but I'm just trying to get down to where this sea stack is. Made the decision last night after I signed off with you guys to come back down to this location, and I'm hoping and I'm thinking that this was probably the right idea, because as I was driving up I could see the sun coming up over the east, out towards out east, and anyway, it was looking promising. And to be perfectly honest, I was not fancying the idea of driving two and a quarter hours out to sorry, it's really early, out to Quinault. Just not that probably wouldn't have been good, but oh, these early mornings. This is the hard part about photography in summer. These early mornings. Oy. I did manage to get about 6-7 hours of sleep, about 6.5 hours of sleep. So I'm not feeling too bad. I'm really hoping that these clouds light up above this sea stack here. Looking out to the east as I was driving up, it looks good, it looks promising. I'm hoping that that holds out for us. So yeah, we're just gonna head over to the sea stack. We're almost there. Oh, it's so nice to have the beach by myself. Just walking up to where this sea stack is. It is pretty wet. Tells me the tide has just recently gone out. That was like my big worry when trying to decide if I wanted to come back out here or not. Was the tide going to be in? If it was, that would have really messed with me. But we got lucky. Tide is out. So I'm just trying to find a spot that's relatively, I don't know, dry. I'm not gonna get that out here, but trying to find a spot that's just relatively not too damp. Put my camera back down and find a composition. So I hope you guys can hear me. Unfortunately, the color never really popped this morning. We had some dappling of it out towards behind the sea stack, and actually out towards that way. We almost fell over there. Out towards the coastline there, we actually still have some color. Not much. It'll probably fade here in the next. It'll probably fade in the next few minutes here. I fired off a few succession of bracketed images. I tried a few different compositions around the sea stack before I finally settled on this one. I should have done more scouting yesterday because I felt pretty rushed to set this up, and also I should have given myself more time to get out of here. But truth be told, it's not a bad image. It's just, I don't know if it's a portfolio image per se. Well, see how it turns out when I get it back into the computer. just standing up here a little bit, take some pressure out of my knees. I think if I had given myself a little bit more time to get out here, maybe we might have found something a little bit better. But you know what? That's just how it goes sometimes. I didn't think the sun was going to rise as early as it did. Clearly I miscalculated. That's my bad. But it's still beautiful to be out here, and it's one of the great things about doing photography, being a landscape photographer, is even though it's a pain in the butt to get up at 3 a.m., I got this beach all to myself. You can't beat that. Having a little fun with one last image before we head in to get the morning dose of coffee. There's just this little kind of, it's not a cave because it's a separate rock, but there's an overhanging branch that's coming off of this. I'm going to call it a little island because it's not really a sea stack. It's a little island, but there's an overhanging branch that's just kind of tilting down, and it's creating a window. And I wish I had noticed this composition when I got out of here this morning, because I could have taken advantage of some better light. But that's fine. I mean, I think with morning light it would have been a little bit better with that little bit of morning light that we had, but it's still a fun image. I've 70 to 200 on there. I'm in at just over 100 millimeters, and I'm just zooming, shooting through this window here. I've put an internal crop of 1:1 image aspect ratio internally in the camera. I could change that in post if I don't like it, but I'm liking the effect that it's giving. Just simple composition, f8. My other settings are 1/10 of a second at ISO 100. Bracketed because I've got, you know, light and dark in there, and bracketed so I can expose for the brighter background far off in the distance, which I believe is Canada, and then exposing the darker areas of the rock. So, a fun little image. Definitely something I wish I'd noticed this morning, but what can you do, right? We were in such a rush. So we've come out back to Olympic National Park, and we've come down to the Sol Duc area. Don't ask me why it's called that, I don't know. I had to take a little nap in the car because I was just exhausted. So, little nap, refuel. I had a few granola bars and some water to refuel. So now we're gonna just head on down the trail here, and I'm looking to check out another waterfall, and I can hear it. And the sign says we're only about 0.8 miles away, so that's not too far. So hopefully it's going to be a nice little hike. So I've stopped at this creek really quick. Focus on me, camera. There we go. So I've stopped at this creek real quick because I caught sight of this one boulder, this one moss-covered boulder, and it has two streams of the creek just going on either side of it, and it looked really cool. So I just wanted to stop really quick and capture that. Put on my polarizer to knock the glare off of the rocks, because we were definitely getting some of that, and just enhance the greens and the browns just a little bit. So, yeah, just a quick little image capture. Let's keep on moving. So I backed away from the falls for a minute because it's loud down there. It is super, super, super loud, but so gorgeous. But yeah, that dynamic range issue is a bitch. It's a big, big, big problem to tackle with. I've already manually bracketed a couple of shots. One where I've rolled my shutter down to about 1/100th of a second to really just kill the highlights, make them a lot darker, and then I've opened it up. I think I opened it up to 1/6, so 1/6 of a second to capture the shadows. That might work, but I really don't have much hope for that. Something else I'm trying is I've just put my polarizer on to cut down on the glare, cut down on some of the light, so it is darkening down the scene just a little bit. And I'm doing a 3 bracket exposure. My camera can automatically do 3 brackets if I set it, so I'm doing normal exposure and then a stop overexposed and a stop underexposed. That's going to create some variances in shutter speed, but we're just going to have to, try, because it's a gorgeous scene right here. I want to capture it. It's definitely going to be hard to put this image together. So fingers crossed that Photoshop does a good job. So I'm just going to run back over to the camera, grab that bracketed shot, and fingers crossed again. So I can honestly say that is one of the coolest scenes that I have ever been able to witness. A very tough one to photograph though. As I said before, just huge dynamic range. As we will have already seen, I'm sure that I managed to get something, at least I hope I got something. And so I think just gonna walk down the trail a little bit farther, stretch our legs a little bit since we've been driving around so much, and see what else we can find. It's starting to get pretty midday-ish. It's almost 10 o'clock. So the sun's gonna be hitting that midday point here soon, and everything's gonna be harsh and unphotogenic. So just keep walking around. If we don't find anything, great. I'm not unhappy with that shot to end the day. So let's just keep going and let's see. Just a little ways from the falls, and I've been seeing all of these pretty little white flowers just lining the path here going up the mountain, and I couldn't help but stop and just take a couple of photos. I've just been using my vlogging camera actually, because it has a nice little touch screen, which if you touch the focus, it can take the image as it focuses. So I've just been using my vlogging camera to capture these pretty little flowers here. And yeah, there is a lake at the end of this trail, but I kind of want to hug the river and see what else I can find down there. So I think we're just going to turn around. We're going to follow this trail that kind of hugs the edge of the river, and maybe we'll find another cool composition there. I mean, maybe. I'm pretty happy with how today's going. Alright guys, well, I've been hiking for several miles now, at least what feels like several miles. It's past 11 o'clock, sun's almost straight overhead. I'm tired and hot, and I'm not finding any more compositions that I'm happy with. So I think we're gonna wrap up today's video. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how today turned out. The last 2 days have been pretty lackluster in my opinion, but today worked out in the end, I think. Got a decent shot out at the beach, and we got a really good shot out at that waterfall, at Sol Duc Waterfall. So I'm happy with how today went. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this series of videos. I know I've had a good time out here in the Pacific Northwest. I think head back to the car, head into Port Angeles, and I'm gonna find myself a beer. Because of the amount of hiking I've been doing the last couple of days, I deserve a beer. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you all are subscribed. If you're not, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos. And stay tuned, guys. We still got plenty more adventures. I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. Still got plenty more adventures to go. And until next time, I hope you all have a good adventure. And I will see you out on the trail.